Let's talk about marriage in the modern West and why millions of men are quietly refusing to play the game, not because they hate women, not because they're bitter, but because they've read the rules and realized the house always wins and they're not the house. This isn't about conspiracy. This is about contracts, incentives, outcomes. It's about how a sacred institution morphed into something many men now see as a high-risk gamble with almost no upside. So if you've ever wondered why MGTOWs avoid marriage like it's a burning building, this is why. Let's begin with the contract. Marriage is marketed as love sealed in law, but in reality it's a legal agreement where only one party is expected to keep their vows, and only one party faces catastrophic consequences if it falls apart. When a man gets married, he signs up for lifetime financial liability. That's not opinion, that's law. If his wife divorces him, which statistically she's far more likely to do, he may be forced to give up half his assets, pay alimony for years, possibly for life, and lose custody of his children. Even if she cheated, even if he did nothing wrong, even if he begged to keep the family together. In the West, no-fault divorce means no one has to explain anything. She just has to want out. And when she walks away, she may take the house, the kids, and a percentage of his income. It's not justice, it's procedure. MGTOWs looked at this and asked, if marriage is a contract, where's the accountability? And the brutal answer is, there isn't any. The state enforces outcomes, not fairness. Let's talk about statistics. In the U.S., 70% of divorces are initiated by women. Among college-educated women, that number rises to nearly 90%. That's not a small gender imbalance, that's a pattern. Now ask yourself, if men were initiating 90% of divorces, would society say marriage is working for women? Of course not. But when it's the reverse, no one blinks. Men are expected to man up, sign the papers, and take the hit. So what are those hits exactly? Let's say the man earns more, which is still the case in most marriages. After divorce, he may owe alimony, a system originally meant to help stay-at-home wives survive post-divorce. But today, even high-earning women get alimony, even women who cheated, even women who chose not to work. Then comes child support, another loaded term. It's not a flat fee, it's income-based, meaning the more you earn, the more you pay. And courts often assign custody to the mother by default, reducing the father to a weekend visitor in his own children's lives. In some jurisdictions, if a man loses his job, gets injured, or simply can't keep up with payments, he can be jailed. Not for harming anyone, not for abandoning his kids, but for falling behind on the bill the court gave him. This isn't fatherhood, it's indentured parenthood, with the state as enforcer. And yet, society still tells men, this is love. MGTOWs call it what it is, a gamble with loaded dice. But it goes deeper. Because this system isn't just about money, it's about incentives. What does marriage offer a man today that he can't get without it? Sex? He can get that without a ring. Companionship? Also available. Children? Technically, yes, but once he's a father, he has zero reproductive rights. The woman decides everything. Abortion, custody, relocation, visitation. She holds all the cards. And what about loyalty? The old idea that marriage makes women more committed. In the age of Instagram, Tinder, and OnlyFans, monogamy is no longer the norm, it's a request, one that's often denied. So again, the MGTOWs asks, what's in it for me? And society answers, responsibility, which is code for sacrifice without return. Now let's confront the pushback. But not all women are like that. True, but the law doesn't care which woman you married. It only cares which laws apply when it ends. And if 1 in 2 marriages fail, and most divorces are initiated by women, then the average man has worse odds than a coin flip. But you're just afraid of commitment. MGTOWs aren't afraid of commitment. They're afraid of legal traps disguised as love. They commit to fitness, to careers, to building things that don't turn on them. But my grandparents were married 50 years. Yes. And they lived in a different world. one where gender roles were clearer, expectations were mutual, and society didn't reward people for quitting when things got hard. Today, the incentives are reversed. Leaving a marriage can come with cash, custody, and social sympathy. Staying in a hard marriage? That's just pain with no reward. And yet, men are still shamed for walking away. That's where MGTOW draws a line in the sand. Not out of hate, but out of self-respect. Marriage, in its modern Western form, is a broken contract, a deal where one party risks everything while the other can walk away richer. It's not anti-woman to point that out. It's pro-reality. And men who've been through it, divorced, broke, alienated from their kids, aren't imagining things. They're living proof of what happens when you ignore the fine print. This is why MGTOW doesn't just question marriage, it rejects it outright. Not because love is bad, but because love backed by the state becomes a weapon. Ask a man who lost half his savings, hasn't seen his kids in a year, and still pays alimony to a woman who hates him if he believes in forever after. Ask him if the ceremony was worth it. He'll tell you what most MGTOWs already know. Freedom isn't found in the ring. It's found in walking away from a game that was never designed for you to win. And that's the deeper truth here. MGTOW isn't about bitterness. It's not about becoming a monk or hating women. It's about seeing the world as it is, not how we wish it were. It's a cold philosophy, but it's also liberating. Because once you understand how the rules are written, you stop playing games you can't win. And that's not defeat. That's strategy. So the next time someone asks you why men are walking away from marriage, from dating, from relationships altogether, tell them it's not fear, it's math, and the numbers don't lie.